Our 25th Road to the Final Four makes a stop at the Dean Smith Center in North Carolina this afternoon. An intersectional battle, the Arizona Wildcats out of the Pac-10 against the Tar Heels out of the ACC. Good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Billy Packer. The Arizona Wildcats make their first visit ever to Chapel Hill today, and they take on, Billy, a young team led by outstanding freshman Tyler Hansbrough.
Well, Hansbrough is a freshman, but he leads this team in scoring and rebounding. And Vern, I'm not going to go out on the line and say he's one of the best freshmen in the country. He is one of the best players in the country. Outstanding in all facets of the game. Two forwards that come back from last year, Terry and Noel, should help him on the inside.
Hassan Adams is the unquestioned leader of this Arizona team.
Well, since his freshman year, he's been outstanding at Arizona. He's got the full ball game. He can shoot from the outside, a great driver, excellent defender, and really is a tremendous rebounder from the guard position.
And Mustafa Shakur in the backcourt as well.
A great leader for this basketball team. It gives Arizona truly one of the best backcourts in the country.
Now, Billy, it's time for our singular Raising the Bar game analysis.
Well, North Carolina being a young team, one of the things that's tough when you have to stop the other team's backcourt. Arizona, as I said, has one of the best in the country, and they'll be tough to handle here. Hansborough's hands. This young man goes to the rebounding. He's very aggressive from a rebounding standpoint, scores on the inside. He'll be a load for Arizona. And forced turnovers. Arizona does the best job of that of any team in the Pac-10. North Carolina really turns the ball over a lot.
Arizona and North Carolina. This one has NCAA tournament implications.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by TIAA Cref, financial services for the greater good. DiGiorno, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. And by refreshingly smooth Bud Light, always worth it.
Lute Olson in his 23rd year as the head coach at Arizona. His team is 13-6. They've won their last 3 in a row. Radenovich, Walters, Williams, Adams, and Shakur. Roy Williams in his 3rd season at his alma mater, 61-63-20 here. And a young team with Sean Terry, Tyler Hansbrough, David Noel, Wes Miller, and Bobby Frazier. This game is brought to you in HDTV by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media. Hansbrough, Hassan Adams will jump center. It's in the hands of the Wildcats.
Miller, Shakur with a big height advantage there.
Turnaround jumper by Hassan Adams. And Arizona on the board early.
Guard to guard there, Vern. One of the best backcourts in the country without question. Very difficult to match up with.
Entry pass into Hansbrough. There's the first turnover. That's going to be a key in this game. And coast to coast, Marcus Williams makes the run.
I don't know what Frazier was thinking. He didn't really hustle to get back there on Williams and let him have the uncontested layup.
Kick out to Wes Miller for 3. That's his specialty.
Well, not only his specialty, Vern, that is where he scores from and even takes shots from. 75 three-point attempts, 83 total attempts. So he's going to shoot from outside on almost every occasion.
Off the front rim for Shakur as Wes Miller puts North Carolina on the board in his 3rd consecutive start now. Came on for Roy Williams against Florida State and hit 18 points at career high. Here's Frazier, leaves it for Wes Miller.
6 threes in that ball game. Pretty solid defender as well for a guy that came here as a transfer from James Madison.
Sean Terry too strong. Rebound off Mustafa Shakur. He couldn't find the handle. Turnover, Arizona.
Everybody ran off and left Shakur on that particular play. Nobody back to help him out. This Arizona team is very unusual. They give up 44% shooting for their opponents, which is a very high percentage and obviously way above things that Lute Olson has done in the past, where he's had some of the top teams in the country, including last year where everybody remembers that incredible Illinois game in the NCAA tournament.
Hansbrough underneath, too strong. The putback not good. Loose ball picked up by Noel for North Carolina. Into the hands of the freshman point guard, Frazier. Battle on the baseline. Look like sequoias under there.
Well, surrounded by Walters, Radenovich. But I can tell you, when Hansbrough gets it inside, he's going to count on powering it back up. 2 easy misses on the inside for North Carolina. The other thing about this Arizona team really shocks you. They have a negative rebounding situation. So not only are they not doing a job stopping teams inside, there's the second easy miss for Hansbrough.
Tried to do the up and under at the other end. Here's Adams. His jumper not there. Radenovich with a rebound to put back. There's the blind follow by Walters off the block.
Nice 2-man game on the inside, overpowering North Carolina.
Crossover by Frazier. He heads left, picked up by Shakur. This is a North Carolina team that gives it up on average of 18 times a game.
In the last 9 games, they've almost averaged 20 turnovers.
And conversely, there's the off-the-glass kiss by Tyler Hansbrough. This Arizona team is forcing turnovers in excess of 21 per game. So something to keep your eye on throughout.
Nice matchup here, Terry and Williams. Williams, the outstanding freshman. Terry used primarily as a small role player on last year's national championship team.
Great defense by Noel. And he's at the other end from the run out.
Oh, beautiful play. Former wide receiver in high school, highly recruited as a football player. A little down and out there, Vern.
Yes, it was. Talking to Woody Durham, the longtime play-by-play man for North Carolina, he said the Tar Heels need to get Noel off the mark. That's a good start. Well, Billy, UCLA plays at Oregon State tonight. Arizona only a half game back.
Well, one of the things that you see right there, and because of the outside record this year, and we know about the RPI woes that the Pac-10 are having, probably looking at 3 and maybe 4 teams into this year's NCAA tournament. So some of those bottom-end clubs are really going to have to get moving. Great man-to-man by North Carolina and Arizona so far in this game.
And a foul called. It's going to be either Terry or Wes Miller. Let's see who they grab. It's going to be Rashawn Terry. And in the ACC, Duke, of course, with a 2-game edge over 3 teams so far.
Well, Duke up there at the top, pretty strong case. But the Big East really had their best with the ACC's top 2 teams. Georgetown, who we had last week in a great game in Washington, D.C., beating Duke. And then Seton Hall in a huge win at North Carolina State the other night. 2 great wins for the Big East. Holding 2 in a row by North Carolina.
That one's on Noel. Duke at home tonight against Virginia just up the road. So 2 quick fouls on the Tar Heels. This one on David Noel, the senior.
And Vern, Virginia, a team that Arizona handled handily out at their place, and the team Virginia beat North Carolina. So they have had some common opponents, Southern Cal being another that Arizona beat, and North Carolina lost it.
Marcus Williams, the freshman from Seattle, who's making his 12th season start today, 12th start of the season, that is, with the Travel. Now Frazier, Noel, Hansbrough, Miller, Rashawn Terry.
Certainly a good idea to pressure full court North Carolina's backcourt. There's the double down.
That Radenovich, as soon as he got the ball, comes over on Hansbrough.
And Hansbrough's going to have to be aware to throw opposite quickly.
Miller, catch and shoot. Rebound. Kirk Walters, quick outlet pass.
Nice block out by Walters.
Pull-up jumper.
One of the things that makes Adams so difficult, there aren't many guys that have soft jump shots that also have great elevation. He is one of those that fit in that category.
That ball taken by Shakur. Here comes Arizona. They'll run it again. Right side, Hassan Adams leads this team with 20 points per game. That one twice off the rim and out. Wes Miller.
Miller is not going to take the ball inside on the drive, looking for the jumper.
That one out of bounds. Touch last by the Tar Heels. Time called. 8-7 Wildcats. Arizona by 1 here in Chapel Hill. 3 teams that perfect records went down last weekend. So nobody without a blemish now, Billy.
Well, and if you ask me, the team that has the chance maybe to keep going with that one loss the longest, it might be George Washington. Very solid in the Atlantic 10 this year, and you know the kind of competition Duke, Connecticut, and Pittsburgh are about to receive. Pittsburgh behind already today.
And the first substitution of the game, the freshman Marcus Ginyard, number 1, is on the floor.
Danny Green also out there.
Yes, Danny Green as well. Danny Green, number 14, so 2 more youngsters for North Carolina.
Full court pickup by North Carolina, first time in the ball game.
This Arizona team won at Arizona State on Wednesday night. Made the trip in here Thursday, and there's another turnover that evens them up at 3-3.
Williams realizing the one thing you don't want to do on the drive is to stop and go up in the air with nobody to pass to. Radinovich completely faked out on the play. Turnover, Arizona.
Lute Olson getting ready to make his first substitution of the game. It'll be J.P. Prince at the next dead ball. Here's Hansbrough.
There's the double down quickly. Hansbrough better just catch the ball and look to throw.
There's Radinovich. You see him. He comes over the minute the entry pass is made.
And Ginyard did the right thing. He came to the ball at the foul line. Hansborough's got an easy play there.
There's the dribble penetration by Fraser. Back outside to Danny Green.
Rush the shot.
And Walters for Arizona.
Good strong rebound by Walters. Second one of the ball game. One in the offensive end and that one in the defensive end.
Kirk Walters, a junior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. 8-7 Arizona. Baseline drive up and under. No. And the ball falls right into Radinovich's hands.
Walters and Radinovich. A lot of size right there for Hansbrough to keep occupied with. Hansbrough on outside in the three-point range is 1 for 1 this year. Hit the first 3 of his career against Boston College the other night.
Nice pass. Nice cut. Ginyard.
Really not a set screen on that play. Ginyard just used both his offensive opponent, his offensive teammate and the opponent to get wide open.
Now, Billy, you mentioned the problems that Arizona's had defensively. They're not shooting the ball that well either.
No, they really have
for the season.
Yeah. With Chris Rogers no longer on this ball club, and there's a nice shot by Williams.
Chris Rogers, the double-digit scorer senior, was dismissed from the team. Attitude problems, said Lute Olson. Left a slight door open for his return if he accomplished certain things, unstated things. Another rebound for Radinovich. 3-on-3. Shakur. Got it.
Good strong drive. Shakur and Adams had that ability from the outside as well as taking all the way to the basket.
5-point Arizona lead. An 8-2 run. Ginyard with the bounce pass. Yes, indeed.
Boy, Walters doing a nice job so far in this ball game.
Marcus Williams pull-up jumper. No. Ginyard loses it.
They're going to say it went off Adams.
Well, current win streaks at the top of the list right now. Texas playing at Oklahoma tonight. Northern Arizona, George Washington, Gonzaga, Memphis, and UC Irvine.
And Northern Arizona and UC Irvine have both played Pac-10 teams with some pretty good respect.
Fendi Onabun is in for Arizona now. Young man playing in his 4th game. He was intended for a redshirt season until they dismissed Rogers, and they lost Juwan McClellan to an injury after he played only 2 games. So Onabun, a freshman from Houston, number 24, is on the floor.
Good crossover dribble.
Oh, beauty. Yes.
And what you have right now, I think the key to this ball game for Arizona so far has been Walters with good, tough defense inside. The last time on Sanders, he is using that body well in there.
Byron Sanders, number 41. Limited minutes last year in the national championship game, or season rather.
Again,
and there's Walters. Great start for Kirk Walters, the 6'11 junior from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Really is a terrific start on his part. Now you got to think about him wearing down a little bit. He only averages 16 minutes a game. And I'm just going to say it's about time for him to come out and Fox will come in and replace him. Terrific job by Walters in the first 8 minutes of this ball game.
Well, they went from the 3 and 4 guard lineup to the 2 tall men when they started Pac-10 play. Had that great weekend in Washington State, the overtime win over Washington. Here's Terry with the dunk.
Radinovich got lost on a play. Good interception by Thomas. On a very poorly thrown cross-court pass. Prince to Shakur. Dangerous pass.
J.P. Prince did not see Quentin Thomas lying in wait.
And had no reason to give up the ball.
Jumper Radinovich from outside. Kansas the three.
He's a good three-point shooter for a big man. That's his 12th three-pointer of the year.
Sanders, Danny Green, Terry. Here's Ginyard along with Thomas on the floor.
That ball was kicked, not called.
Didn't catch it. Arizona leading by 6. Radinovich puts it on the floor. Entry pass. Isaiah Fox is on the floor now, number 2.
And he was on the floor yesterday at practice, but most of the time laying on the floor with a back injury. So I'm surprised he's out there banging today.
Radinovich.
He's asking to come out as well. He's tired. So they're going to have to go small with Fox being the key man on the inside.
5 rebounds, Radinovich already. J.P. Prince.
Bad shot. Turning against himself as a left-hander.
Danny Green, a little out of control as he makes the penetration.
Nobody stopped the most difficult man, and that's the guy with the ball inside the foul line. Nobody guarding him. Breakdown by Arizona.
Gets back to Radinovich for 3. Thomas.
North Carolina's bench playing with a lot more energy, kind of wearing down that starting group from Arizona.
Baseline, 2 more.
Timeout Arizona would be a good time for it. His team is tired right now. Rudolphson not going for it, but I think they need a little bit of a rest here. Big comeback by North Carolina. Radinovich is really tired.
That's an 8-2 North Carolina run. He's gasping for air.
He sure is.
Gets rid of the ball, puts it in the hands of Shakur. Jump stop, lost it.
And when you're tired, you turn it over. Look at Shakur. He's bending over. He's exhausted. Radinovich is as well.
9:35 to go first half. 2-point game. NCAA championship for North Carolina. The banners aligned atop the Dean Smith Center.
And who will ever forget how Illinois got there? This very team out here, Arizona, up by 15 with 4 minutes to go. Then Illinois went on that 20-5 run in one of the great games in what were incredible regionals last year. Or else Illinois never even would have been in that Final Four. A tough loss for Lute Olson's team. Great win for Illinois.
And, of course, North Carolina got by Villanova by 1 point up in Syracuse. A controversial traveling call made on Allen Ray.
And that little ball game between Michigan State and Kentucky wasn't a bad regional final either. Nice out-of-bounds play. Walters tries to go for the dunk. Not there. He's had a little rest now.
Marcus Williams short with a shot. Rebound North Carolina. Wes Miller.
Radinovich better stay with Miller.
Hansborough, after the timeout, is back on the floor. They got the starting 5 back. Well, Danny Green is still out there. Here's Noel. 19-17, 9-10 to go.
That was an important timeout for Arizona. I know that Lute Olson wanted to wait for the TV timeout so he didn't have to call one, but his team was extremely tired.
Danny Green.
Everybody running away from Shakur when the ball comes inbounds. Adams running down floor. That time, fortunately for Shakur, Williams came back.
Carolina back on top. Marcus Williams, the freshman from Seattle.
Beautiful
spin move.
Spin.
Beauty. Oh, yes.
Beautiful spin move.
And that ends an 0 for 5 streak for the Wildcats. Foul called on Walters.
Now, Walters has been doing, as we mentioned on numerous occasions, a great job in the low post on defense. Has taken away somewhat Hansborough's game. getting a little help on the double downs, but doing a real good job inside, really using that body.
Noel has spread it out a little bit. Here's Frazier. Hansbrough limited to 1 for 4, Billy, for 2 points.
Well,
Here's Miller.
He's being double teamed on all occasions and doing a good job now recognizing, hit the ball outside immediately. And if you're Arizona, you cannot turn your back on Miller. I mean, that's where he's going to score. He's not going to drive on you. He's not going to try to get inside, but you can't leave him.
Pass inside, Radinovich off the glass. Tip, nope. Hansbrough taken away. Radinovich and a foul on Hansbrough.
No, I think it's going to be on Radinovich on the steal.
It is. You're right. I'm sorry. Time call. North Carolina by 2, and they're hitting 53% from the field, Bill.
Well, that's not a good sign for Arizona, because against Oregon State, they gave up 61%. Against Oregon, they gave up 55% in 2 losses. And, of course, turnovers. North Carolina was 6. In the last 9 games, they've averaged 19.9 turnovers a game. So that's not a good sign for North Carolina. So far, the game extremely competitive, kind of what we expected. 2 teams, you know, everybody talks about North Carolina's losses. But it's not like Arizona didn't lose 2 pretty good players. You know, Salim Stoudemire, he was number 3 in the nation, 3-point percentage over 50%, and Channing Frye averaged almost 16 points and 8 rebounds a game, so they had some losses as well.
It seems almost strange to say about these 2 storied programs, but this game, I think they're on the fence in terms of the NCAA right now. And so this game has significance for both these teams to get back into the tournament again this year.
And there was a case, Walters, for the first time being out of position, had to go too far away from the basket.
Take a look at Arizona on the list of top teams in terms of strength of schedule.
Well, that always is an indicator also when you're losing some games with a young ball club, and when you're not shooting well, that strength of schedule can hurt you. This is a tough ball game to come on the road all the way across the country, particularly when you've got to come back and play against really strong teams. The next club's coming up at USC, a team that beat North Carolina, and at UCLA, a team that the Arizona people told us played as well as anybody they've played all year, including the great win that Arizona had up in Washington. One of the best games I've seen this year.
Noel 0 for 2, and Rashawn Terry has left the court. We'll try and get some information on what the problem might be there. Here's Radinovich.
See Adams posting up on Frazier. Good idea by Noel to help out.
Green runs. Hansbrough puts it in the hands of Frazier.
Good job by Miller to come and get it. Boy, Adams not giving Miller any room at all. Smart.
Kick it back outside. Hansbrough. Danny Green. Shot clock at 9.
Miller have a hard time getting the shot off against Adams.
4 on the shot clock. Noel. And the rebound by Adams. He's got a decided height advantage over Wes Miller.
Incredible play by Williams. Freshman to freshman. Great lead pass.
Marcus Williams, a 6'7", 205-pounder. Hansbrough, likewise a freshman at the other end.
Well, Walters waiting for Hansbrough to come down into the low post. Good job by Hansbrough. Smart play, pulling up and taking the jumper.
Hansbrough had 26 points, a season high in that loss at home to Boston College here on Wednesday night. And he's got a rebound again out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Brings the ball up the court, all left-handed. Adams that time faded away on his jump shot, wasn't going towards the basket. Tough to shoot a high percentage that way.
Back to Noel, under 6 to go first half, 2-point game.
Where's he going?
Up and under, there you are.
Excellent footwork by the young man. Went all the way across the lane to lay that up. It was actually triple team.
4-point North Carolina lead. Radinovich, and he'll shoot a free throw.
Excellent fake by Radinovich.
Now, Billy, let's take a look at Power in the Paint, presented by Powerade.
Well, that is not only power, that is a beautiful eye contact pass. Freshman to freshman. Williams showing what an outstanding leaper he is, and takes a lot of courage to go up around that rim, catch that ball, and concentrate on the catch as well as the dunk.
Meanwhile, at the line, Ivan Radinovich, born and raised in Belgrade, Serbia, Montenegro.
And a 20.9 rebound game against the Connecticut team, and we know what a great front line Connecticut has. That speaks well for him. I think Noel should try to take him off the dribble a little bit when he's got him outside.
There's the double on Hansbrough again. Brings it out to Clinton Thomas.
Got a chance. Take him on the dribble.
Ball reversal, and they test the entry pass, and it's tipped by J.P. Prince.
Prince has got long, long arms, like his cousin Deshaun Prince, who played at Kentucky. And has the same body style, and that really helped him on that deflection.
J.P. Prince out of Memphis, Tennessee. 27-25 on the miss. 4:55 to go.
Now, you know Thomas is having trouble handling the ball. You need to go out there and really pressure him when he's dribbling. Prince backed off him.
There's the dish underneath.
Not
Tough
a good
catch.
catch.
Yeah, exactly. Close quarters and a little mustard on it. That's a hell ball, and the possession arrow, North Carolina. Visit CBS Sportsline tonight for a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports action. Watch video highlights and get in-depth analysis from our team of experts only at cbssportsline.com.
Radinovich sitting down again, Vern. He has really showed signs of being tired. Walters back out there. Looks like he's caught his second breath. Did a real nice job early in this game.
Frazier, no. Chased down by J.P. Prince in the corner. Prince off the glass.
There's that long extension.
Nearing the 4-minute mark.
With this smaller team on the floor, North Carolina should be trying to get that ball inside to Hansbrough.
Skip pass. There's a softer pass, and Hansbrough will go to the free throw line. Hansbrough has excelled at the free throw line as well in the last 6 games. He's up to 75% for the season now. Conference RPI, Big Ten, followed by...
Now the Big East was making that big jump. ACC finds themselves in 3rd place, and look at where the Pac-10 is, all the way down at the bottom of that list. And obviously that conference RPI has a lot to do with the multiple selections come tournament selection time.
And that underlines the importance of this game. Pac-10, ACC, Hansbrough gets them both.
How about a freshman in the Atlantic Coast Conference that's been to the line more than any other player in the league? That speaks well to a young guy that can hang on to that ball down inside and knows how to draw fouls.
At the 4-minute mark, he'll get a rest. Byron Sanders, the senior from Gulfport, Mississippi.
Prince is picking up a lot of confidence right now and wanting to be the lead ball handler, which puts Shakur out in the number 2 position.
There's a jumper. Tip. Nope. Tip again. Walters continues this effective first half.
Well, with Hansbrough out of the ball game, Walters just overpowers Sanders inside.
Loose ball out of bounds. And time called. It's 29 all, 3:29 to go. Be right back. We're back at Chapel Hill. Let's take a look at the singular raising the bar game analysis.
Stop the guards so far that we've seen Arizona's guards doing a good job. 10 points. Hansbrough just exactly what we expected, even despite the double team, putting up some real numbers. And the Tar Heel turnovers, 7 so far in this ball game, forced by Arizona. Not a good sign for North Carolina.
29 all. Talked about the turnover story. To underline that, Billy, only 4 turnovers in the first half for Arizona. None in the last 8 minutes and 12 seconds.
The Boston College came in here, a team that's on the rise right now. They struggled early in the ACC, starting to come on strong now. I expect them by tournament time to be a very tough team to beat with their inside game. Chris Smith leading the way. But they only turned the ball over 9 times against North Carolina the other night. An excellent display of a well-coached team that was making good decisions inside.
Word from the Carolina bench, Rashawn Terry received a jolt to his chest. Went in, they looked at it. He's got a sore muscle on the left side of his chest. Got ice on it, as you can see. They think he might be back in the game. 29 all, 3:26 to go first half. Thomas, Ginyard, Miller, Noel, and Byron Sanders on the floor for North Carolina.
You can see that scouting report on Miller. Now, don't turn your head. Don't give him a jump shot.
Beauty. Quentin Thomas has not scored much this year, and he's got 4 points here off the bench. Sophomore from Oakland, California, whose minutes have diminished recently. Yes.
Well, he had the game 7 turnovers in 9 minutes against Virginia Tech. That sometimes will put you on the bench for a while.
Shakur. Nope. Ball went right to Hassan Adams. And we're tied again. This is the first of the 2-game series between these two. There's a reach-in foul on Fendi Onabran. They'll play again next year in Tucson. Near the end of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. To honor their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund, Chevy, and American Revolution.
Yesterday at practice, Lute Olson, the great Hall of Fame coach, made a point to his players. Don't foul the dribbler or the driver. Now, what did we see right there? Miller, who is not going to try to drive and is not really a guy you're counting on dribbling, being fouled while he's dribbling 25 feet from the basket. A coaching point that the guys didn't listen to.
Back outside, Danny Green doesn't show inclination to penetrate. There's the pass to Thomas. Rebound by Hansbrough.
Thomas doing a pretty good job getting that ball up around the rim. And Arizona has not taken advantage of his ball handling problems by really pressing him when he's got the ball in the offensive end.
Hansbrough in double digits now. He's got 10.
Walters getting good position. They are really fighting inside.
Hansbrough fronts him. Back, here's Onabran. And the rebound in the hands of Danny Green. Carolina under 2 to play, up by 2. Miller for 3.
And Prince, the freshman, with a mental mistake. You've got to know where Miller is at all times. If he gets the wide open look, he's going to let it fly.
3 of 4 from beyond the arc for Wes Miller, the 3-point specialist. Prince in and out. Tip. Here's Prince.
Not a bad idea by Thomas. Terry should have been on that ball.
Onabran in the corner. Adams for 3. Front iron. Wow. Onabran, big rebound. No foul call. Here comes Carolina.
Hansbrough really running now. There he is.
No basket.
Boy, he hustled down that court to be in position.
Kick ball, 30 seconds. Coming up on Singular at the half, Gus Johnson and Seth Davis will get you caught up on all the action going on today in college basketball, including last week's unbeaten Florida and Pittsburgh trying to start a new winning streak. That's all coming up on Singular at the half.
Arizona having problems when they don't have Radinovich and Walters in the game at the same time. It seems like North Carolina beating them off the boards. And I mentioned that Arizona has a negative rebounding statistic, which is something that North Carolina ought to be able to take advantage of, particularly with one of the big guys out.
Tangara is coming in now. He's a 6'9 freshman from Mali, but he played his high school ball in nearby Durham, North Carolina. There's Razor, the dish, Hansbrough, and Radinovich with another rebound.
Nice job by Arizona changing the shot.
Get in the ball game.
They'll play for the final shot.
Ball in the hands of the right man here.
Mustafa Shakur from Philadelphia, PA.
Got to watch the 5-second count here.
2-second differential, game clock, shot clock.
No, we're not close enough there.
Crossover. Shakur kicks it outside. Hassan Adams, fade away. No. Underneath. Loose ball. 2.1. .1 seconds to go. Carolina will have the ball. Time called by North Carolina. 6 times already this year, Tyler Hansbrough, the ACC Rookie of the Week.
Well, probably working on number 7, which will pass him all time as a Carolina player. Sam Perkins has 6 as well. Kenny Anderson, a great guy from Georgia Tech, had 10 to be the all-time leader in the league. But Rookie of the Week is not going to be the end of that kid's on.
Oh, my! How about that?
Frazier from downtown.
He's hitting 29% from beyond the arc for the season.
Oh, a big breakdown. Didn't even realize it at the moment. Chris left the shooter and looked for the pass. With only 2 seconds to go, cost Arizona down 8.
The 3 at the buzzer for Bobby Frazier, the freshman from Blue Island, Illinois. And North Carolina, with its largest lead of the first half, worth another look. That's the end of the first half, 39-31 North Carolina. Let's go to Gus Johnson in New York.
Thanks, Vern. Coming up on Singular at the half, Seth Davis and I will update you on today's scores and highlights, including formerly unbeaten Pitt and Florida looking to start new winning streaks. After this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
And welcome back to our New York studios and Singular at the half. Our score after 20 minutes of action in Chapel Hill, Arizona and North Carolina. Tar Heels leading at 39-31, and I am Gus Johnson, joined by Seth Davis. How about the Tar Heels? They're young and they're stroking the ball from the perimeter.
Well, it's easier to make shots when you're open, Gus, and this is why Arizona's just mystifying to me why they haven't shown up defensively. Not only is Carolina making 54% of their shots, Arizona only has 4 points off turnovers, and that will not get it done today, I promise.
All right, let's get this college basketball scoreboard rolling for you. Number 3 team in the country in action, Memphis against Central Florida. Sean Williams at the top of the key, nails a 3. Memphis up 16-12. Central Florida forward Lavelle Payne bounces it to Michael Donnell at the baseline. And then Central Florida forward Josh Peppers hits a rainbow 3.
Yeah, smooth sailing as usual for Memphis through Conference USA. I think they could go undefeated in this league. That is one of their freshmen, Antonio Anderson, for the lane, and Memphis appears to be rolling.
Right now, 42-30. Elsewhere in the SEC, the Gators and the Commodores. Early on, DeMar Carroll for the breakaway layup as Vandy looks strong. Then Vandy, Sean Foster pulls up for the jump shot. 16-13 Commodores. But here come the Gators. Al Horford finds Joakim Noah for the jam.
Yeah, that's something I wish Florida would do more, Gus, is use their advantage with their inside players. And you know what? They're not defending particularly well, even though they're coming back at home. This is DeMar Carroll for the 3 for the Commodores. Could the Gators possibly lose 3 straight? I don't think so.
Coach Stallings has some athletes down there in Nashville this year. Elsewhere, Pittsburgh and Marquette. Let's take a look. Marquette's Dominic James breaks down the defense, finds Ryan Amoroso at the top of the key. Then Marquette guard Dominic James hits the jumper off the dribble. But here comes Pittsburgh. They have veterans like Carl Krauser. Gets the steal. Takes it straight to the basket. Licks his fingers in the process.
That's how they do it in the Bronx, Gus. That's how they roll. And this is Antonio Graves with the 3-pointer. Marquette was leading for much of this game. Dominic James hurt his shoulder. He did return, but it allowed Pittsburgh to start pulling away.
Let's head to the Big Ten. Michigan State and Penn State. Watch out for the Spartans. Early on, though, Mike Walker in transition pulls up behind the arc. But Shannon Brown, Mr. Downtown himself, maybe the most athletic player in the country, going up high for the jam. He's not finished, though. Drew Neitzel will find him. Neitzel turning out to be a terrific point guard. Here's Shannon once again.
I'll tell you what, though, it has not been easy for the Spartans today. This is Penn State's Mike Walker. He's going to pass it to Milos Bogatic. He knocks down the three. Michigan State is playing without Paul Davis in this game. He injured himself in practice yesterday. That would, however, be no excuse to lose to Penn State at home.
Big 12 action, Iowa State at home against Kansas. Kansas' Julian Wright feeds center Sasha Khan underneath for the jam. Kansas by 10. On the break, Iowa State's Will Blaylock feeds Rashawn Clark. But here comes Iowa State off the turnover. Kansas State, though, says no. Russell Robinson to Brandon Rush.
I'll tell you, this Kansas team is getting better every game because their freshmen are growing up. They're getting better guard play. That is Mario Chalmers on the break with the breakaway. This would be Kansas's best win of the year if they pull it out.
John Thompson III is really coaching his heart out with the Georgetown Hoyas. They're facing Cincinnati at home today. Georgetown's Jonathan Wallace feeds Brandon Bowman in the lane for the lay-in. And watch the great Hoya defense. I love it. Shades of the old Hoya paranoia. Jeff Green blocks one. Cincinnati, they get it back. And Roy Hibbert says, not here. Terrific help defense.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Mutombo finger wag on that one, Gus. This is the talented freshman Jeff Green playing much better of late. Georgetown could have had a letdown after that upset against Duke. Guess what? They didn't.
Elsewhere, Dayton taking on Xavier. Xavier's Dedrick Finn drives the length of the floor, and he lays it up to give Xavier a 2-point lead. But here come the Flyers. Brian Roberts spots up. Got it. Xavier's Josh Duncan pulls up and nails a three-pointer. 42-33 Musketeers.
Yeah, Xavier trying to break a 2-game losing streak. This is going to be Brian Thornton with a nice backdoor pass to Stanley Burrell for the layup. Brian Gregory's team looking to pull it out.
And you can hear more from Seth if you want to, if you feel like it, if your ears don't mind pollution during the week on CBS College Sports, our new network, CS TV. And the road to the Final Four on CBS continues tomorrow at 1 Eastern. Most of you will see number 11 Indiana take on Minnesota. Others will see Arkansas at Kentucky. And a reminder for up-to-the-minute sports news, real-time scores, outspoken writers, exclusive video, and award-winning fantasy sports. Go to CBSSportsline.com. Later today, CBS Sports takes you out to sunny San Diego, California for live third-round coverage of the Buick Invitational. Jim Nantz is in the tower on the 18th hole with more.
Gus, it's a beautiful day to be hanging out in La Jolla, California. The stars have come out at the Buick Invitational. In yesterday's second-round action, this is Brant Jobe on his final hole. A par 5, third shot in here snug for a birdie. He had opened with 65 Thursday, backed it up with 67 Friday, and had the overnight lead by 2. But look at those in close pursuit, including three-time winner here, Phil Mickelson. This a birdie try over on the North Course Friday. Mickelson with a second-round 67. He's 6 off the lead. Meanwhile, Tiger on the South Course. They utilized 2 courses the first 2 days. This was an eagle bid from 60 feet. And he dunked it on his way to 68. Tiger is only 7 back. In fact, he's parred his first 2 holes today. We have third-round coverage coming up shortly right here on CBS.
All right, thanks, Jim, and thanks, everyone, for watching Singular at the Half. We'll send you back to Vern and Billy in Chapel Hill for the second half of Arizona and North Carolina right after this.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
Tar Heels enjoy their largest lead of the game at the break, 39-31.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. T. Rowe Price, mutual funds, IRAs, college savings. Invest with confidence. And by Mazda, always the soul of a sports car.
Carolina leads by 8. They got that lead on the last play, Billy, of the first half.
Well, some big breakdowns here by Arizona. Look at Noel taking the ball out of bounds. Williams should be up here making the pass much more difficult. He's in no man's land. Now Frazier gets the ball. Watch Mustafa right here. He is looking as if there's a pass to the corner. There were only 2 seconds to go. As he turns his head, it gives Frazier just the opportunity to get off a wide open shot. I realize it was from downtown, but there was no defense on it.
Arizona will inbound to open the second 20 minutes. Frazier with his 12th three of the year, and it was here. Marcus Williams, the freshman, will inbound. Puts it in the hands of Mustafa Shakur. Hassan Adams and the 2 threes, Radenovich and Kirk Walters on the floor for Arizona. Noel. Reach-in foul. Let's take a look at our DiGiorno first half stats.
Well, you can see North Carolina 55%, much like that Oregon State situation. Much too easy for Arizona to give up that kind of field goal percentage. North Carolina, big advantage in threes. Arizona can do a better job defensively. A lot of some mental breakdowns here, and they got tired. When they had Radenovich and Walters in there early in the ballgame, they were really doing an excellent job defensively.
Yeah, Billy, I'm not suggesting this is the reason. There's Hansbrough with a rebound. This Arizona team played at Tempe on Wednesday night. They traveled Thursday, worked out yesterday. They had a shoot-around this morning, and this game kicked off at 11 o'clock.
I think that is a legitimate excuse, Vern. I think a good point on your part. And there's Hansbrough again, two-handed power dribble right up through Radenovich and Walters.
Williams, guarded by Terry, who's back on the floor, injured chest and all, and he's got the loose ball. It's only the 5th Arizona turnover of the game. Back to Hansbrough. Here's Noel, kicks it outside. Quick movement over to the right side. Hansbrough takes the jumper if given, and he airballs it.
He airballs that, but he worked on that shot a lot in practice yesterday. He's certainly capable of hitting that mid-range jumper.
Williams, 3.
Young man's got a lot of talent. He's one of that Seattle 5, an outstanding year last year for high school recruits out of Seattle. And he is certainly going to be a good one for Arizona.
Yeah, something in the rainwater in the Pacific Northwest where the Seahawks dwell. Well, they have 5 really, really good players. And an offensive foul. That makes Roy Williams put his hands over his ears.
You know, Vern, we'll all remember North Carolina hitting that three-point shot at the end of the half. But remember the breakdown by Arizona. You know, there was a very small amount of time differential when they had possession of the ball and got off a very poor shot in the half. So it really turned out to be 2 they didn't get and 3 that North Carolina got, and that made for that 8-point advantage at halftime.
Roy Williams goes to his bench, brings Byron Sanders, the senior, number 41, on.
Adams posting up inside. There's that fadeaway jumper.
Nice battle for the ball, and it's won by Noel.
The shots that Adams has missed today, he has faded away in every occasion. From the corner,
Rashawn Terry. North Carolina 6 of 10 from three-point range, and before the rebounded shot, a foul is called, and Shakur is going to go to the line.
Good explosive drive by Shakur. No weak side help until the last minute. Noel got over there, but got there late. Good drive.
That is the 3rd foul on the senior, David Noel.
Shakur has had some outstanding games this year, none any better than the one at Washington where he had 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists. Outstanding young player. Assist-turnover ratio has been really good throughout his career at Arizona.
And quickly, Hansbrough back on the floor for David Noel, who sits with his 3rd foul.
And it's about as big as North Carolina can get with Sanders and Hansbrough both in the game at the same time.
Frazier, Miller, Sanders, Rashawn Terry, and Hansbrough.
Good those two hands again by Hansbrough. This guy is so strong inside. It is unbelievable for a freshman to have that kind of a power game.
Well, he was nicknamed Psycho T by his teammates. There's the jumper.
Look at he and Walters are really banging each other inside. Look at this.
Offensive foul.
Well, you know, I feel sorry for Walters in this case because Hansbrough was giving him a lot of body contact. And Walters is the one that gets called for it at the end. But Hansbrough is just so strong and so active. Watch Walters in here. Really banging, and when he threw that elbow, it cost him. But two big guys working hard.
I mentioned the nickname Psycho T. It came out of his work in the weight room after he came here from Poplar Bluff, Missouri. The Poplar Bluff Mules, back-to-back state titles. Down in the southeastern corner at 17,000. Here's a foul called on Marcus Williams.
Smart play by Sanders. He realized he's not a jump shot threat, so he breaks to the basket when that double team comes on Hansbrough for the layup. Although it wasn't 2 points for him, it could have been close. Great catch.
And then a misfire on the point blank with the fall from Sean Terry of his own miss.
Terry went out for a while in that first half with a shot to the chest, but he's come back aggressively here.
21,000. Rise is one. Largest lead of the game for North Carolina. Jumper, no. Loose ball.
Adams has got to stop fading away on his jump shot.
Throws that one right at Lute Olson.
I think it'd be smart. I realize waiting for another one of those TV timeouts, but Arizona really needs to collect themselves now.
Lute is...
Adams just needs to realize he can elevate over people without fading away. He's not going to get his shot blocked.
North Carolina by 12. They've lost their last 2 games at home, Miami and Boston College. Nice drive. Frazier. 9-2 North Carolina run. Adams. Dangerous. Careless with the ball, but Williams gets it.
Yeah, that was a good pickup by Williams because that could have been a turnover and could have led to a fast break.
Danny Green on the floor for North Carolina. Guarded by Adams.
Well, Adams get called for a hand check. He's got by with a couple of them so far.
Here's Hansbrough. He did hit that 1 3-pointer the other night. His first attempt of the season. But passes on that opportunity. There's the pick and roll. Frazier back outside to Danny Green, who will take the 3.
Lute Olson wanting to calm his team down. You can see that they're trying to get the lead back too quickly with spectacular plays instead of getting back into their offense and playing solid.
Television timeout, 15:06 to go. Take you back to the 1997 Final Four. Legendary coaches Dean Smith and Lute Olson met in the semis. Mike Bibby and Miles Simon faced the Wildcats with their 66-58 win over the Tar Heels. Dean Smith's last game. In the national championship game, Simon again led the way, scoring 30 points. Arizona defeated Kentucky in overtime, 84-79. Miles Simon, now an assistant to Lute Olson in his first year as an assistant coach, and also on that bench, Josh Hassner, who was a walk-on freshman on that team.
A lot of connections. We may be able to get into them today. Also in the fact that Roy Williams coached one of the 3 number 1s that Arizona beat to the NCAA championship that year. Roy, of course, on that Kansas bench. I thought that Kansas team, one of the best 10 teams I've seen in the last 15 years. Huge upset down in Birmingham. And, of course, that overtime victory in Providence. And then the huge wins against North Carolina and Kentucky. Quite a run by an Arizona team that lost the last 2 games of the regular season that year, going into the NCAA tournament, finished 5th in the league.
5-second call is negated on the turnover by North Carolina. Adams, the kick out. He's got the ball back, guarded by Frazier. Penetrate, kicks it out. Marcus Williams, blocked by Danny Green. In the corner. In and out. Not a good pass.
No place to go.
Shakur tracks it down. He has to kick it in the corner for Williams.
Yes. Big turnover by North Carolina, something that has really been their nemesis throughout the entire year. It's a young team, but that was just an unforced turnover. Unnecessary pass.
They have turned it over 10 times in the ballgame now. Arizona with 8.
Sanders not a threat out there, just an outlet pass.
Frazier. Shakur, 3-on-2. Kicks it, nice pass. And a block by Danny Green. Clean block, here's Carolina. Off the glass and good.
Really a good jump catch stop by Noel to put that up. Frazier's asking to come out of the ballgame. That's Green's second big block of this half.
Jumper, Shakur. Frazier really is winded, isn't he?
Yes, you can see North Carolina ready to come back in with 4 sets. The bench scoring for North Carolina was 11-2 at halftime, and it really is wearing down this Arizona team. With Chris Rogers no longer on the squad and Ron McClellan with his injury out, it really has made that bench awful short for Arizona.
North Carolina 8 of 12 from three-point range. Here's Wes Miller. Could get one of his first 2s of the year. That's only the 5th 2 in his career. I thought he might, not really, but might try and dunk it. Fantasy layup. Our 2006 golf coverage next on CBS, the Buick Invitational from San Diego. Tiger Woods, 7 back. His play started today. Brant Jobe was in the lead, and Phil Mickelson, we are told, has moved into 3rd place. There you go, as Tim Clark is tied with Brant Jobe. Playing away, Jim Nance and our golf crew. Randy Watkins in the 18th hour coming up after our game. 60-44, 16-point Carolina lead. Onneman's back on the floor now. Fendi Onneman, freshman from Houston. Skip pass for Adams. This has been a forward shooting North Carolina team, and Arizona not that effective.
That's a walk, not called.
Got away from it. Yep. J.P. Prince in the corner. Boy, he has a look, a physical look at Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
He's got those long arms, exactly the same body style. And for a guard, really gives him some great passing angles. There's Walters with a cheap foul inside.
Foul is on Kirk Walters. Well, how about this long-range shooting Carolina team in this half?
Well, in some cases, you've had Arizona turning their heads and leaving that shooter wide open. In the case of Miller, a couple of times we saw right at the end of the half, Frazier got the wide open look. And Lute Olson can't believe it.
In the corner, Quentin Thomas, who had an effective first half of play. Ginyard's also on the floor. There's the switch. That leaves Hansbrough alone underneath.
There's that footwork again. A two-handed, strong catch inside, and then excellent footwork not to travel.
Off the bench, Daniel Dillon has the ball in his hands now, number 12 for Arizona. Sophomore from Melbourne, Australia.
Looked pretty good in practice to me yesterday. He was extremely aggressive, looked like was very fresh.
There's Prince, loose ball, picked up by Carolina. That one will get a little
Thomas touched the ball. The referee didn't see it. It should be Arizona ball.
Instead, Bruce Hicks says Carolina ball.
No, I think they missed that one. I think that Thomas.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Powerade. The new AT&T, your world delivered. And by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection.
Back in Chapel Hill, we got a moment. Let's take a look at Teams around the country with the best records against ranked opponents.
Well, you see Duke up at the top, 6-0, but you know what? They lost to Georgetown, who will be up in that top 25 here shortly if the way they're playing right now. Arizona got a tough break there. That ball hit Thomas on the way out of bounds. The referees awarded it to North Carolina. And Arizona needs some breaks right now.
Foul called on Arizona. Couple of statistical points, Billy. North Carolina in this half hitting 10 of 15 from the field, 67%, and they're doing a great job of protecting the ball. Only 3 turnovers.
Well, you know, one of the things you jump out when you study these teams and you see, as I mentioned, the 2 games that Arizona lost at Oregon and Oregon State. Those teams average shooting over 55% in both of those ball games. Not a good sign. You know, you've got to defend better than that. Lute Olson's teams have always been outstanding on the defensive end. You know, he's going for, he's got 21 straight NCAA trips.
Right.
Dean Smith, the all-time leader at 23. The 2 of them talked here yesterday. 2 great Hall of Famers. One of the stats about Lute Olson I think is amazing. There have been 40 coaches at the other 9 schools in the Pac-10 since Lute Olson became the only coach at Arizona. Is that unbelievable?
Yes. 40. Lute Olson, 71 years of age, about to sign a contract extension.
That's the second walk by an Arizona player in this half that was not called that led to a basket.
That one for 2 inside, 63-49. Under 11 to go here in Chapel Hill. 6th time these 2 teams have met, but the first time on the home court of either one. The last meeting we talked about in 97. That one knocked out of bounds. Well, we talked about the best record against ranked opponents. How about the other end of the spectrum?
Well, how about Syracuse? That happened in the course of a week. They had to play Connecticut at home, at Villanova, and at Pitt. Not many teams are going to come away with anything better than 0-3, and Jimmy Boeheim didn't kind of like that schedule very much. Tough assignment.
Radinovich is back on the floor for Arizona now. He's guarding Rashawn Terry. And repeating the shot clock, Rashawn Terry is fouled. Back to the free throw line.
It's about as aggressive as I've seen Terry play in quite some time. Young man last year obviously got a very limited role with those 7 other players on that North Carolina team that won a national championship. Was primarily an outside shooter. He was terrific from 3-point range, shooting 60%, 12 for 20. But we're seeing him drive to the basket today and doing a good job with it.
In a win on the road, 81-80 at Florida State last Sunday night, he was actually the defensive player of the game by the coaching staff. First time he's ever won that award.
Yep, made 2 key fouls in that ball game to seal the win with 23 seconds left.
And he's been bothered by inconsistency this year, but he's got 11 points and an injured chest in this ball game. Spent a little time in the locker room in the first half. Now defending Marcus Williams. There's the jump stop underneath. The shot too tall. Out of bounds. North Carolina ball. Tomorrow on a new cold case, a debutante's biggest night becomes her last. Now, 38 years later, detectives exposed a high society secret that led to murder. Don't miss a new episode of Cold Case tomorrow on CBS, America's #1 network.
The Arizona players should have their second win now in this second half. And right now, the critical thing for Shakur is to go ahead and handle the ball, keep the team in their half-court offense, and get Adams loose inside some. A little full-court pressure here, well handled.
Wes Miller, hands for right. He does it again. Up and under.
He'll either power or use the rim to help defend off the shot blocker. Nice body control.
Hansbrough with 18. That's his season average. He leads this team in both scoring and rebounding. Here's Carolina running. Kick it right side.
Adams again on that jump shot, Vern, is not taking off and coming down either a little bit forward or square up to the basket. He's fading, and it's really taken away its effect.
Radinovich, Harris by Noel. Wes Miller, who is a fine defender on Shakur. Loose ball. Can he get it? No. On the line, Arizona ball. Take another look.
Excellent elevation. by Williams yesterday about this team. You see Terry going up and flushing that one. He said he really enjoys coaching this club. And they do give it all. They have made some mental mistakes in regard to turning it over. Playing extremely aggressive basketball today, doing a much better job in the second half handling the ball.
Bobby Fraser, Billy, now with 8 assists in the ball game, and he is yet to turn it over. Number 4, the freshman point guard. Walters, turn around, got the roll.
Very nice shot by Walters against Hansbrough. He took him that time.
Twice this season, both times in losses, Arizona has given up 61% shooting by opponents. That's where North Carolina is in the ball game right now. 61% from the field. Miller. Fraser, little jumper short.
There those hands again. And he almost gets it back. He is so aggressive. I tell you, he's worth buying a ticket to watch, isn't he?
Yes.
Never says a word, never gripes. All he does is play and lead.
Foul is on Hansbrough. That incurs the ire of the crowd of 21,000. Hansbrough will rest. Sanders on the floor.
You know, this is what's gets you upset about a Chris Rogers or a Chris McCray up at Maryland. Seniors that for some reason let their teams down. In one case academics, and the other just not wanting to be part of a bigger group. Then you see a freshman like that that can show leadership. Seniors are supposed to take that role.
Nice blow. Shakur with the kiss off the glass. He gets to 69-53. Danny Green
having a pretty solid second half.
J.P. Prince back on the floor, number 30. There's Green. Goes for the steal. Fraser.
That's Adams' game right there. Taking the ball to the hoop. Very difficult to match up with. When he fades away on the jump shot, he's easier to defend.
Field goal percentage for the game at 58% now.
Prince's long arms are amazing, aren't they?
Got Shakur with a foul. It has been all Carolina, led by Tyler Hansbrough and Rashawn Terry. Roy Williams' predecessor here was Matt Doherty, the former UNC player, now the head coach at Florida Atlantic University. And they posted a record of 8-3 in the Atlantic Sun Conference, currently tied for 3rd. There's an automatic NCAA bid that goes to the championship of that conference. And wouldn't that be something?
Oh, well, Matt was on that staff at Kansas that Arizona beat on that run in '97 to the national championship. You know, that year they also beat North Carolina in the opening game of the year up in the Springfield
Mass.
Yeah, right. The Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic. Carolina expected to be extremely strong. Arizona came in there and beat them, so they had 2 victories in the same season against the Tar Heels.
71-55 with 7:19 to go. 8 of 12 from beyond the arc for this Carolina team, and there's Hansbrough double teamed again, and he will go to the line. Tomorrow at 60 Minutes, a superstar singer goes from extra large to small. How'd she lose all that weight? The story on 60 Minutes tomorrow.
Young man is number 2 in the Atlantic Coast Conference in field goal percentage. Number 1 in the ACC in regard to going to the line. And those people on the West Coast watching him for the first time this year against a major opponent probably see just how outstanding he is. And there he misses one of the free throws. He's been shooting almost 85% the last 10 games.
1 of 2 this trip.
You got a big man that's going to go to the line a lot. You love for him to be up there around 80% shooting free throws. A terrific advantage.
And he's got 19 points and 9 rebounds in this one, near a double-double. Here's J.P. Prince. Finds Fendi Onabin underneath. And Green slaps it out of bounds. Team RPI ratings, Billy. Duke on top.
Duke up there. Memphis playing extremely well. Michigan State with that loss Only the second time in 14 games they've lost to Michigan. Tennessee, the surprise of the SEC. Villanova, a club that we saw really tough to handle with that great backcourt.
Shakur guarded by Wes Miller. Prince finds Radenovich. Good defense by North Carolina. And a foul. No, travel.
Yeah.
Travel.
Well, that was the third one. This time it was called.
Well, we told you we'd keep track of the turnover story. It's now even 10-10. So only 3 turnovers still for North Carolina in this half.
That's a huge stat in this ball game. That's something that Arizona had to take advantage of. North Carolina's propensity to turn that ball over and Arizona's ability to force teams to turn it over.
Into the corner, Noel, there's Hansbrough. Boy.
I think he got by with a push off on Adams that time, but again, that strong 2 hands of his. Watch this one. There's Adams. He's a finisher.
Quickly at the other end, Wes Miller penetrates, leaves it. Noel.
Well, with the scoring margin where it is right now, not a bad time to take that jump shot, even though his teammates are really not setting their half court.
Adams over Frazier, got it.
Adams holds his hands out like about time it went in, but even that one, he did not come down on 2 feet, just 1.
Kick out again for Wes Miller for 3. Yes!
You would think that players would realize if I'm guarding number 22 of North Carolina, I have got to stay with him, even if there's a double team opportunity.
He had 6 threes in his first start ever here, the transfer from James Madison. That was against Florida State. He's 4 of 5 from 3s today.
Puts his nose on the floor, creates the turnover, and calls a timeout.
Wes Miller and the Tar Heels. New number 1 this week, the UConn Huskies with 17-1. Duke second, followed by Memphis, a Memphis team leading right now. Florida's lost 2, and Texas plays tonight at Oklahoma.
Gonzaga rocking right along, playing against Portland, a team that has 2 victories over Pac-10 teams this year. Adam Morrison, obviously a great pleasure to watch. A sloppy catch by Terry.
3-on-1. Oneboom leaves it. And a foul underneath on North Carolina. That's going to be on Wes Miller, number 22. His second.
There you saw the sloppy catch by Terry. Miller did not get there in time.
And that's going to send Shakur to the line. Wes Miller grew up in Charlotte, went to prep school, Mechanicsburg, Mercersburg, Pennsylvania, then in New Hampshire. Always wanted to play here. Got a scholarship at James Madison. Told his folks he was going to transfer to North Carolina and walk on, and he did. And Billy, he's a 2-time winner of the Rick Sharp Award. That personifies the guy who contributes the most behind the scene. And that honor at North Carolina, named for one of our colleagues, Rick Sharp, who died at a very young age in the mid-'80s and was a producer of the first 3 Final Fours that were presented on CBS. 4:40 to go. Terry. In and out. Walters has it.
Time now for Arizona. They're not going to win this ball game. Now it's time to get solid again. Get ready for the next 2 tough games they've got coming up in the Pac-10. Southern Cal and UCLA waiting for them on the road for Arizona. Time now to get back to playing solid.
Here's Adams. There's the steal. Quentin Thomas. He's now scored 6 points. I believe that is a career high for Quentin Thomas. Nice, effective game off the bench.
He really has. He's not been pressed by Arizona. A little breakdown on the scouting report. You want to force him to try to put that ball on the floor, turn it over.
Under 4 to go. Off the glass. You know, I swear Tayshaun Prince taught him to shoot.
Well, he doesn't have the same size,
No.
but he's got a lot of the same style.
Well, and the release is exactly the same. Here's Wes Miller. Prince from behind. Is he going to make 2 twos? No, he won't.
That was Sanders with the touchback.
What most strikes you about this North Carolina team today?
Well, I think they're really enjoying playing. I think that they've played with a lot of energy. Terry has played hard. They always get it from Hansborough. I think that the other thing is they played a lot smarter in not having those foolish turnovers.
11 turnovers for the game so far.
See, that's not what you want if you're Arizona. You want to start playing solid, not go one-on-one. You got to get ready for the next game.
North Carolina hitting 59% from the field, only 10 turnovers, and they've got 23 assists in the ballgame.
And Terry again. Now he had a bad catch, and Roy Williams looking at him saying, "Where are you going?" Great question by the coach.
What you waiting for? Step your game up. Gon' come on in the dust. Step your game up. Drop it to the floor and just step your game up. Do what you finna step your game up.
Carolina by 18 and still hitting above 55%. Next, the PGA Tour on CBS takes you to Torrey Pines for continuing coverage of the Buick Invitational. Had a two-way tie at the top. Brant Jobe and Tim Clark, and they are still tied. Phil Mickelson, who is a San Diego native, has moved to within 1, having played through 8. 2:43 to go. Jumper from Shakur, no. Marcus Williams, Hansborough. Held ball, possession arrow, Carolina.
And there you saw Shakur putting up the long jump shot. I realized that shot was open, but he's got to understand now, get to the offense. Start trying to get smooth again. 2:30 left to go in this game. Get ready for the next one.
Bobby Frazier's had a terrific game. 9 assists, no turnovers in the ballgame.
And what did Roy Williams tell us yesterday? Hey, he's got a real bad finger. Kind of look out for him. He may have some problems handling the ball.
Right. 10 on the shot clock. Hansborough couldn't quite catch it. He'll come back outside. Frazier, nope.
Had to put that one up. Shot clock working against him.
Under 2 to go. Arizona's first trip to Chapel Hill will be unsuccessful. They go back home and resume Pac-10 play. Let's check the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. 23 assists for North Carolina, 9 of them from Frazier. Get complete game stats at cbssportsline.com.
Well, that really, when you get down to it, set the tempo of this game for North Carolina to be much better at handling the ball and not only turning it over, but allowing the other team then to go on the offensive. It's a real key to the game for them today.
Daniel Dillon comes on the floor. Radenovich heads to the bench. Billy mentioned the Wildcats go back home. They'll be on the West Coast next at USC and UCLA, and North Carolina will go to 12-5 for the season, back to ACC play at Maryland next Tuesday night. Frazier.
Considering what's at stake, Vern, every game's going to be a war for both of these clubs if they hope to get into the NCAA tournament. Nothing will be easy. Hansborough, that's a double dribble.
Yep.
Nobody came to help him. There were no screens away from the ball, so Hansborough got stuck down inside.
1:27 to go. 81-63. 13 turnovers now for North Carolina in the ball game.
Frazier's high assists on the year. He had a terrific game against St. Louis this year. We had 12 assists, so it's the only one that tops the 9 he has today.
Ball stripped by Danny Green.
His third block of his half.
Yes, indeed. Held ball, possession arrow, Arizona.
Great teaching point between Roy Williams and Danny Green yesterday, talking about blocking a three-point shooter. Talking about going off to the side if you're going to block him. Never go straight at him. And at best, kind of sit down on the check.
Here's Shakur. And he'll have one. Wes Miller picks up the foul. Executive producer of CBS Sports, Tony Petiti. The coordinating producer of NCAA basketball on CBS, Bob Dekas. Today's game directed by Bob Fishman. At the Half, produced by Vin DeVito and directed by Kathy Barretto. The coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Harold Bryant. The associate director of today's game, Jonathan Siegel. Broadcast associates Josh Hall and Brian Sealing. The technical manager, Rick Godwin. Technical director, Scott Sickler. And audio supervisor, Kevin Little. Statistician, Chuck Gardner.
Lute Olson still coaching his club on. Wants full court pressure. Put a smaller team on the floor.
Put the ball back in the hands of David Noel. And here is Fraser. Danny Green passes on the 3. We've got a minute to play.
1 minute.
Arizona's going to fall to 13-7. Fraser off the glass, not there. North Carolina will go to 12-5. Williams.
Oh, great shot with Green right on his hands. I like the fact that Lute Olson has his team pressing here. He's not going to throw in the towel at all. But Roy Williams will now, as he's going deep on the bench with some walk-ons.
Yeah, walk-on heaven now for the final 40 seconds. Roy Williams clears the bench in his 3rd year at his alma mater. 15 years at Kansas, 10 years an assistant to Dean Smith here. NCAA champions. A year ago, they lost their 7 top men, 4 to the NBA, 3 to eligibility, their final season completed. So in a year where the emphasis is on youth, Roy Williams invigorated by this team.
Well, let me put in perspective in regard to the numbers. 91% of the scoring, 87% of the rebound. What has picked that up this year is the freshman now at North Carolina, 52% of the points and 42% of the rebounds. You talk about a transition.
Noel will shoot one more. And among the best of the bunch, that young man from Poplar Bluff, Missouri, where he led the Poplar Bluff Mules to back-to-back state titles.
Pretty good nickname for a kid, too. You know, the Mule, huh?
Don't you think?
He reminds me of Dave Cowens of all the players I can think of in my memory in terms of the way he plays, his style, tenacity, just sticks to it.
His dad's an orthopedic surgeon in Poplar Bluff. His mom, Tammy Wheat. Parents are divorced. She's a former Miss Missouri, so he's got a decided genetic advantage as well. That one, Prince, misses. Loose ball on the floor, underneath, foul. And Will Robinson's going to go to the line. The junior from Chapel Hill.
Vern, I'm very disappointed with you on that call.
Uh-oh.
You had to look at your score. Roy Williams has really gotten you 25 seconds ago. He's got guys in the game that, to be quite honest, neither one of us have seen play before.
You sold me out.
You know, that's the kind of guy I am. Just a nasty partner.
I just feel like I'm right down the river. And meanwhile, at the other end, Arizona, Lute Olson, can you believe this? At 71, he is going to become a great-grandfather in March. That one, an air ball. He will have more hair than any great-grandfather in America. Here's Burke. Oh, would have been a moment to remember.
There's another one.
Yes, there's a moment to remember.
The big win for North Carolina at home, and for Lute Olson, time to retool against 2 very difficult opponents on the road coming up.
Old friends, Roy Williams, Lute Olson. Shake hands at midcourt today. Chevrolet players of the game, Hassan Adams from Arizona, Tyler Hansbrough from North Carolina. In recognition of their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American revolution. Back to our studios in New York in just a moment. Our final here. North Carolina wins it big, 13 turnovers, and for the game they hit well above 50%. Gus Johnson in our New York studio. North Carolina a winner 86-69.